buddy, how are you? It sure been a long damn time since we chilled like we used to. You got it all together since you left that mess behind.
Welcome, everyone, to a very special edition of In the Spotlight. Joining me tonight is a man on a mission to make a difference, a positive difference in the lives of others through his music, his words, and his actions. Please welcome to the show a country music singer-songwriter who's as real and genuine as it gets, Whey Jennings. Whey, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. And Whey, I know you've got a lot going on. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me here. I'm looking forward to what I know will be a great conversation. And what I'd like to do, Whey, is kind of kick off with something I just mentioned in the intro in terms of you using your words, your actions, your music to make a difference. And your music, your social media platforms, you've been doing all you can to shine a light on recovery, sobriety, and truly helping others in a way that few others do. So what inspired you to get involved and help others in the way that you have?
I was addicted to drugs for about 27 years, and took me a long time to get out of that. You know what I mean? And I figured I'd like to be a tool for other people not to have to take that long to get out of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's something I wish I'd have taken care of a lot earlier in my life, but I didn't. I've been sober now for going on 5 years, and I'm in my 40s already. So if I would have done this a lot earlier, I'd have a lot more time in my life to have been a better father and a better husband, and just a better all-around human being, you know? So what I'm trying to do is use my experiences and write songs about my experiences and talk to people about my experiences to help people understand that there is a better way of doing things, and it's sober. And sober is the way to do it. I mean, I'm able to get up early and hang out with my kids and hang out with my wife and not feel bad about the decisions I make. One thing I noticed that I was doing the whole time I was addicted to drugs was I was pretty well lying about my addictions. And when you tell anybody a lie, you gotta your next thing comes out of your mouth is another lie, and then another lie, and another lie, until you got this web of lies. And the one freedom that I feel now is that I don't have to lie to nobody about nothing. I wake up, I do my thing. I don't have to reach for nothing. I don't have to lie to nobody about nothing. And that's how I'm living my life these days.
Well, and I'll tell you, Whey, I think that is a great life lesson just in general in terms of what you were just saying. If you tell the truth to everyone, you never have to really think about, well, gee, what did I say to this person or that person? Because it's going to be consistent throughout. So I think there's several great life lessons and messages in there. And one of the things, again, I just want to focus on because I really enjoy it is, and you talked about getting up early in the morning, and early in the morning, you've got your morning coffee, Facebook Live videos, inspirational posts that you're putting out a lot. And I enjoy watching the videos and reading the posts. So what's the reaction been like from your fans and followers to that great positive content?
Well, it's been good. I mean, you're not going to go wrong putting out positive content. We're living in an age right now where we're living in kind of like the great divide, and people are just putting up, you know, clickbait that's got a lot of bad content in a lot of it, you know what I mean? And of course, you know, bad stuff, for some reason, I don't know what it is. You always remember the bad things. You don't really remember the good things a lot in life, you know, but I'm telling you this right now, the good things are the things that last, you know what I mean? The right now entertainment factor, a lot of that's going to be negative, and I'm not going to buy into that. You know what I mean? I like being a positive light to people. I like to tell people about the good things going on, spread the good news of the gospel, you know, and I feel like it has more of a lasting effect. You know, I talk to people more than once. I talk to people all the time. It's because, you know, when you're trying to lift people up and do good things and, you know, shine a light on the good things in life, people tend to come back to that. When you shine a light on the bad things, they'll come look at it a couple of times and they'll walk away. So what I'm trying to do is try to be a positive influence in people's lives and use what I've got in my toolbox, which is music, to try to make a difference. You know, we all got to make a living, but more than that, I want to make a difference. So.
Yeah. And Whey, I have to tell you, it's, you know, I've had the opportunity, it's coming up on 7 years since I started doing this. And one of my goals initially was just to have a place on social media for positive and inspirational content and kind of get away from all that negativity and stuff. But, you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk in your music, in these videos, in these posts. And I, for one, I really appreciate it. And that's why I kind of gravitate to that type of content, because to me, it's meaningful and
Mm.
definitely appreciate it. And I look forward each day to seeing what you're putting out. And what I also like to do, though, is just maybe switch gears just a little bit, because I mentioned to you before we started recording that back in July, I had a chance to meet Creed Fisher. He performed at Sellersville Theater here in suburban Philly. And then, I'm sorry, that was in June. And then on July 20th, he joined me on his 50th birthday. And I bring Creed up, and it was really cool. He was, how many people would actually say, "Hey, you know what? I forgot it was my 50th birthday," but he actually still did the show, which was great.
Mhm.
And we got a chance to sing "Happy Birthday" to him. But there's a couple things you guys have in common that I think are pretty interesting. In addition to being from Texas and working in fields other than music, Creed, I don't think he picked up a guitar till he was 34. And you didn't really start singing out and performing live until you were 30. So what
Mhm.
inspired you at that point to really begin what's become a pretty amazing musical journey?
Well, honestly, it usually comes from a dark place, you know. Um, Growing up, I played a lot of like Farkle and Yahtzee and stuff with my mom. I was a mama's boy, really big mama's boy. And we'd hang out and we listen to her record collections and sing and just have fun, you know. And those are some of the greatest memories of my childhood.
Hmm.
And so she was one of the very few people that actually got to hear me sing. And when she was diagnosed with cancer, she asked me on her deathbed to try to do something with music because she knew how well I could sing. So
Wow.
I promised her I would, and I ran out there and I threw myself at the wall, see if I'd stick, and I just barely hung on. And
Hmm.
you know, even at that point when I was doing everything wrong, I still had confidence in my ability to sing. You know, so that's what started it all. I got out and I did everything wrong, and now I'm trying to go back and do everything right. Is what I'm doing.
No, for sure. And Way, I have to say, in addition to your voice and your singing, I also think you're an incredible songwriter. And I'm wondering, did starting when you did and maybe having more life experience than some folks who maybe start earlier, did that help from a songwriting standpoint and having more of those life experiences to draw from?
Well, I think it did. I mean, used to when I was, still partying and everything, I could just write a song like that. Somebody play some music and I could write a song to it. It's because I don't know if it was that I was just so high that I had complete total confidence in my ability to write a song or what it was. But once I got sober, that ability kind of went flat. I started, having more care about the words coming out of my mouth. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I wanted it not to just fit and sound good. I wanted it to also have a strong message. You know what I mean? Something that it would stick to people. So now my whole writing uh, apparatus has changed. So what I do now is I get with other people and we bounce ideas off of each other and we write songs based on more than my own understanding. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? I felt like I was being selfish of me to only write songs based on my own thoughts and feelings. Other people's understanding are important too, So I've sort of adopted the, two heads are stronger than one kind of thing, and that's what we do. I try to write with as many people who are like-minded as me. Uh, Try to write all the songs I can and come up with as much material as I can, and then we throw it all in a bowl and we whittle at it until we get it down to about 12 or 13 songs and put it on an album nowadays.
Wow, and I have to tell you, I appreciate you sharing that, because my next question was going to be, what does that process look like? And you just described it, and
Mhm.
that's pretty very interesting to hear, and I appreciate you sharing that. In fact, there's a song that in the video, "One Folded," that I believe the video's been out maybe a month, maybe a little more than a month. And I have to tell you, Way, it's the lyrics, the message, the video. It's one of the most compelling and powerful I can remember seeing. And I know YouTube, I think, only counts one view, per person, even if you watch it 10 times. But I've watched it at least 10 or 12 times, and it moves me every time. So, how did that song and that particular video all come about? Because it's amazing.
Well, honestly, I wish I could take credit for that one, but a buddy of mine named Michael Curtis wrote that song. And I was down in Muscle Souls writing songs with him. He wrote a really good one that's on this album. It's called I Would Die. And he
Hmm.
played me that song, and I said, wow. I mean, I've come from a military background. I wasn't able to serve myself, but I had my grandfather served, all my uncles served. I mean, I have a cousin who just got out of the Coast Guard, and so the military, it means a lot to me, and so I've always had a strong love for country, you know. But me being foolish as a kid, I wasn't in the right mind to go join myself. But I do believe in this country, and I believe in our military and our veterans and the people who have fought and died for this country. So whenever I was given the opportunity to put this on an album, I took it. I was like, yes, I would love to put that song out. And it took very little back and forth with the songwriters to get it to be perfect. And
Hmm.
I believe that that's probably the strongest song I've ever put out, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And I have to tell you that that's coming on the heels of Jekyll and Hyde and 10-Day Run and Girl on a Fast Horse. All of these songs and all of these videos are absolutely amazing. And like I said, that they all really, you can tell they're written from the heart, they're
Mm.
relatable, and just all great songs. So it's just that the one folded is the most recent, and I appreciate you sharing that because like I said, folks, for those watching, if you haven't seen any of those videos yet, I highly recommend it and download the songs as well. They're great musically and lyrically, powerful messages in each and every one of them. And I can only imagine, like when you said earlier, you kind of whittle them down. You definitely
Mm.
are picking the right ones to put out for sure.
Yeah, we started with 20 songs and we knocked it down to 12. Um, that one, that one and Home are the only two that I didn't have a songwriting part in. The rest of them I co-wrote
Okay.
and or wrote. And but those I usually don't put out covered like songs that aren't mine. But when they're that strong and that powerful and need to be heard,
Hmm.
that's when you come to realize that it ain't all about you. It's about the power of a song, and that's why I put that on this album.
No, absolutely. I totally understand that. And I, for one, I'm glad that you did, Whey. And now, what I'd like to step into now is kind of looking forward just a little bit. We're coming up on the holiday season and the new year. So, what can your fans look forward to from you in the new year in 2025?
Well, they can look forward to a guy who's putting just as much work in as he did last year on an album. I've got some songwriting sessions coming up. I've got a bunch of ideas for songs, and I'm coming out with a new project early next year, and it's just going to keep going. We still got a bunch of videos off this last one to push us through the first couple months, so it'll be coming. I promise you. Hard
All
work,
right.
dedication, and the blessings of God. That's what's going to happen.
No, absolutely. And definitely, I appreciate you sharing that because there's a lot to look forward there and a lot of great stuff that's just come out, here in 2024. So I want to make sure that I covered that as well. So, Wei, as you look back at all that you've accomplished and all that you've been through in your journey thus far, what would you say you're most proud of?
Uh, my children.
Hmm.
My wife and my kids, man. I'm more proud of them than anything, honestly.
Well, that shows again, it's having priorities in order. And because when I asked that question, and I like to ask it because I think the answer itself can sometimes tell a lot about a person, and that clearly just says a lot about you. So kudos for that.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You
I'm
got
proud of
it.
just about everybody in my life. I've been surrounded by people who I love and who love me in return, whether it be my family or my band or my team or my fans or, you know, just the people I'm on a spiritual journey with. And, it's just been blessing after blessing, but it's been all a gift from God. And I know without God, none of this would be possible. So that's 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 how I've lived my life for the last few years, and that's how I'm going to continue living my life. I'm going to keep growing as a human being, I'm gonna keep growing my faith. I'm gonna keep growing my family, keep growing my music until I can't grow no more. And that's what people can look forward to in my future, man. That's just it.
No, that's definitely worth looking forward to. And again, appreciate just how genuine and your candor and honesty in everything way is very much appreciated. So I just had one last question for you. We just kind of look back in terms of what you're most proud of. If you were to look ahead, what would you say would be, let's say, the ultimate definition of success for you?
Oh, I've already achieved that. Once you get right with God and you grow your family into a position of, you know, of safety and prosperity and able to grow as human beings, that's success. Success is being a good husband, a good father, and being able to support your family. You know, everything else is just, you know, icing on the cake, honestly.
Wow. Well, you know, Whey, I have to tell you, it doesn't get any better than that. And I appreciate the conversation that we've had. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me. I look forward to the new projects coming out. And if you ever come to the southeastern portion of Pennsylvania or anywhere in this area, I look forward to coming out and seeing you perform and hopefully shaking your hand at some point someday.
I'd love to shake your hand too, brother. I appreciate it, man.
You got it. Appreciate you. And folks, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Man, I thought we were through with this. Then I watched the evening news. There were folks that still wouldn't stand for the old red, white, and blue. At first it made me fight and mad how they think that that's okay. Then I thought they just don't understand, and given a chance I'd say, have you ever been there when taps was played or for a 21 gun salute? Had to hear the words you never want to hear? Have you ever had to face that truth? When a son or daughter didn't come back home to a family so devoted, then you might not disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded, have you seen a heartbroken mother or a father fall to his knees? Been there when a family got the news that your freedom wasn't free? Have you seen a flag-draped coffin? If you did, how'd it make you feel to know a soldier died to give you the right to stand or kneel? Most of us are immigrants, proud to call America home. And I'll stand for the red, white, and blue, even if I gotta stand alone. 'Cause I've been there when taps was played for a 21 gun salute. I had to hear the words I didn't want to hear. Yeah, I had to face that truth. When a son and daughter didn't come back home to a family so devoted, you never disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded, you never disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded, one folded.